EnterTalk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Hey guys, welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Paul Berezetsky, and with me on the air is Eric Lucero. Say hello, Eric.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Guys?
And we got an awesome guest on tonight. Personal guitar hero of mine for a long time since I was in high school. Please say hello to Mr. Marty Friedman.
How y'all doing?
Yeah, welcome, Marty.
Awesome.
Thank you very, very much, Marty, for joining us on Sharpen the Axe. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Let's do it.
And you're on the road traveling through Albuquerque, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're just about to pull into town right now, actually. We're about 40 miles out.
Very cool. Playing a show there tonight, I take it?
That's right.
Very cool. Yeah, a buddy of mine caught your show a couple of weeks ago out in New Jersey, and he told me it was freaking phenomenal. He said you're coming to San Diego. I looked it up. You're a Brick by Brick. I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. And then I figured I'll reach out and see if we could get you on here. So really excited to have you on.
Yeah, definitely come down. Definitely come down.
Oh, yeah.
San Diego, I believe, on the 28th.
That's right. Cool venue.
And are tickets still available for that show?
You're asking the wrong person. They might be.
Right on.
Well, hopefully we'll help boost it and promote it on here. And I took a listen to the new album, getting prepared for this interview, and it's freaking awesome. I was I haven't heard it before yet. I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. I thought maybe Marty's getting a little long in the tooth, maybe he's mellowing out in his old age, and it's just aggressive.
Why the fuck would I do that?
And it's right off the bat, it's aggressive as hell. It's really, really heavy, and a mix of really aggressive rhythmic stuff and like really is always awesome melodic solos. It's just really cool. Really digging it so far.
Well, thank you very much. Let's get deep, my friend. Let's get into some interesting stuff.
Well, I got one. So you have gone back to Jackson recently after being away for quite a while. So what took you away from Jackson, and what brought you back to Jackson?
Well, needs change as you, through your career, you make different albums and different tours or different projects, and different needs happen for someone who's playing all the time, and they evolve, and as they evolve, your needs in an instrument change, and not only the instrument, the people in the company, they get shuffled around, and people change, and when you go with the company and you put your name on a product, it's not just the product, it's the people behind it, and when those people are suddenly gone and they're not anymore, then you kind of find that there's not really a whole lot left for you to be there. So things evolve, and this is my 13th album now, so I've gone through a lot of changes with instruments, and Jackson has always supported me, even when I was working with other companies, even when I had a signature with Ibanez and I had a signature with KRS. Jackson, they helped me out in a lot of different ways, with recording and finding gear for me, and just like giving me really valuable things, valuable advice, and just helping me out and on the road and stuff like that. So that speaks volumes. And they've always, asked me, you want to come back, and I've always been, when the time is right, it'll happen. And then they started talking about a signature model, and it took 2 years to get it exactly right. When we finally did, it's just perfect.
What is it about?
Awesome.
What's that?
Sorry about that. We're both on phones. What is it about that's perfect to you? What do you look for in the build and the setup?
Well, it's a lot of trial and error, really. What happens is they'll start with the shape and what you can do to make the shape interesting. And I kind of love, let's face it, it's a Les Paul shape. But you can't just copy a Les Paul. You've got to do something interesting to it. So we started the shape, and I always like big bevels. So we took the bevels and we made them really insanely big. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a Les Paul shape, but it's just got these insane bevels on it and a really modern headstock. You start with the shape, and then when it comes to sonic things about the guitar, you have them send prototypes out, and you put them to the test in the studio. And actually, the whole Wall of Sound record was done with a whole bunch of different prototypes for this guitar, so I was really scrutinizing these things really strictly, so to speak.
So you kind of got a chance to experiment and see what you like and what sticks.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, I'm not really a super smart guitar builder type guy at all. I don't really know the details about what goes into making a guitar. So I basically just had to tell them no, yes, the way it sounds. And I think the main thing that I really focused on was I don't like the fret buzz that happens on 90% of guitars. A lot of people don't even realize it, but they think they fixed their fret buzz, but in actuality, maybe 10 or 20 frets, 10 or 20 places, play those places on a guitar. Right. But I want every single note on every single string to never, ever buzz. And that's quite a tall order.
Right, and I take it you probably like your action pretty low?
Oh, it's actually quite high.
Oh, really?
But even when your action is high, you can get buzzes. Mm-hmm. And intonation and that non-buzzing sound is the most important thing. That it took them 2 years to get it down, and it's perfect now, so I'm super happy with it.
Now, to jump to another signature model that you have out, you have a signature amp head from Angle. Could you tell us about the signature head?
That's pretty much the same exact story as the guitar. I've been with Angle for about 10 years now, and they've kind of always threatened to do a signature model, and I'm like, I don't really know enough about amps to really contribute to making a signature model, but I was flattered that they wanted to do it. It was, we took all the Angles that I've been using for the last maybe 10 years or so in the studio and just find out what I like about them and what I don't use, and just kind of make an amp that is got everything that I do want and nothing that I don't want, so it doesn't need to be unnecessarily expensive. And what it turned out to be is kind of like a simpler version of the Steve Morse amp, which I've really loved a lot. It's like a simpler, it's not nearly as high-tech, but it's got all the sounds from that Steve Morse amp that I love, and some stuff from the other Angle amps like the Invader and the Artist amp that were it was really modeled after. But it's basically a simpler version of the Steve Morse, and I just love it. I've been using it on this tour, and it's just killing it every night.
Are you a pedal guy? Or not so much?
A whole lot of pedals. I use like a Maxon auto filter, and that's about it. And there's a couple other things in my tech fiddles around with while I play, but a couple Jim Dunlop things, MXR things, but they are only very sporadically used, and a couple Boss things too.
Very cool. So mostly relying on your amp and your axe for sound.
Yeah. Always been that way.
And I also read that you're using Fractal Audio Axe Effects. Is that true?
That's like about 500 years ago. I don't know what.
Gotcha. You're not using the Axe Effects anymore?
I've got a couple of them, and I like them. They're nice, but I use every one of those modeling things in the studio. I've got grid stuff, and I've got Kemper stuff. And it's great for, like, you know, when you don't have your whole full walls of stacks to jam through.
Right on. Now, you've been around for a while and have seen guitar and instrument and recording technology evolve. What have you seen that has impacted you the most technology-wise, and what else would you like to see that hasn't happened yet?
Marty, you still on with us? Uh-oh. May have dropped out. He said he was driving through New Mexico.
Yeah, he is on the road. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it seems that we have lost our guest.
I'll try to give him a call here back in a couple of seconds. Hopefully, he'll drive into a better zone. All right, we actually managed to get Marty Friedman back on the line with us. Not sure for how long, but we'll.
So sorry about that. I think that New Mexico we're only 40 miles out of town. I don't know why nobody got any cell phone service here.
No.
Sorry.
It's all good. It happens.
So,
but thank you very much for joining us again.
Yeah, glad you're back. So we're on kind of like on hard clocks here. So because we had to drop out and I kind of just ended everything. I'm not sure how much time you have left. Assuming the signal holds up, if you need to boogie on, just let us know and we could wrap it up. But we have.
Yeah, we can go for another 15 minutes if you want to do that.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Sure. Yeah.
So while we were trying to get you back, me and Eric were kind of discussing Wall of Sound, and we kind of had a couple of questions about it. One that I had, the song that we opened with for a friend, that was really, really digging that one. Was that, my guess is, was that written about Nick Menza?
That song was, I'm not sure I understood the question. Could you say just the very end of that again, please?
Oh, the song For a Friend, was that written for Nick Menza, who passed away sadly last year?
That song was written, not for any friend in particular, but that song was written kind of like for anybody's friend. You know how, everybody has friends, and it's kind of really hard to tell your friends how you feel about them, It's kind of, especially from guy to guy, and I think guys in their own way, the way they tell other guys that they're thinking about them and that they care about them is, maybe they might make a mixtape, or they might introduce them to a band or a song that they like,
Yeah.
Guitar player, say, dude, listen to this, I know you'll like it. Well, that's really just a way of showing, another person that you love them, or you like them, or you care about them, and you're thinking about them. And I just thought that would be an interesting emotion to try to put into a song, and hopefully that song would be something that people could, send to their friends and say, this is how I feel about you, or something like that.
I think you captured it beautifully. It's got, really great emotion to it, just really epic kind of sound to it, especially that middle section.
Thank you very much.
I had a question about the variance of influences on Wall of Sound. So there's definitely some like on White Worm, there's some Latin sort of influence on there. I wanted to ask, though, how, for yourself and for our listeners, how do you keep things fresh when you're in a playing or writing rut? How do you yourself get out of that?
Wow, I got like every third word out of what you said, so I'm just going to answer your question at random. I just try to keep things fresh by using things that are influencing me in my day-to-day life. And before I started writing this record, I had a lot of really good experiences with Latin music. I went down to Buenos Aires and played with Astor Piazzolla's grandson, and played a big tribute to Astor Piazzolla in concert in his hometown, and it was a big deal. And I really got to play with a lot of great Latin musicians. And then I played with Rodrigo and Gabriela at Hollywood Bowl, also doing Piazzolla's music. So I kind of like got a little Latin blood, I'm pretty much just a normal white guy from the East Coast, but I got a little Latin blood in me, and I wanted to like kind of interpret it my way in that song. It's kind of just your basic heavy metal song, typical Marty-ish song, but what's different about it is I tried to put like a Latin feel in some of the parts.
You don't see it coming.
Right on. Well,
on first pass, first listen through. You don't see that coming. It's a very nice surprise.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you see it that way because that's exactly what I was intending. I mean, when I first started to think of putting that piano part in there, I just laughed because it was so ridiculous. But then I thought, if that's the reaction I get, then that's good because I just want a reaction. And I want to feel something, and I really want it to stand out. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, and it gives the song like a rhythmic, almost danceable quality, which is not normally something you think about in metal, but as very, very fresh sound. I dig it.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, we're playing the song live in our set right now, and there's a couple sections that feel real danceable. And to be honest with you, I don't know how to move my body when we're playing those parts. You know, I'm strictly headbanging, so I don't really have that natural movement for those parts. It's a little bit awkward the way I stand when I play it, but I really love playing that song.
Oh, you got to take some dancing lessons.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have. I don't think I have it.
Well, in any case, this might be a good master plan to get to start getting more girls to go out to metal shows because normally it's just a bunch of.
Well, I've been noticing that. I mean, that's a big thing for me. I mean, if you're playing for a bunch of dudes every night, what's the point? You know,
right,
and it seems like that more and more girls have been showing up to the shows, and good-looking girls too, and not only girls with their boyfriends, but just girls. And I'm like, when did this trend start happening? And let's keep it going because it's kind of good incentive to play.
Well, I think you cracked the code there.
I don't know how I cracked it, or I don't know who's cracking it, but it's a good code that needed to be cracked.
Oh, very cool. Hope it.
Now,
go ahead.
Now, I got a question that one of our listeners submitted. They want to know what initially drew you to Eastern music, particularly Japanese, and how do you fit those influences into guitar playing?
How has Japanese music affected my guitar playing? Well, I've been in Japan for about 15 years, and I've done every possible thing musically over there and non-musically over there, and just living in that culture, you kind of soak in a lot of melodic concepts that don't really exist outside of Japan. And, from Japanese traditional folk music to Japanese current pop music to rock music to visual kei music to idol music. It's so incredibly different from what's on the radio here in America. And when you're surrounded by that for so long, it just seeps into you. And so it creates kind of a very strange hybrid with what I already do and a very interesting evolution. And then you mix it with the Latin stuff that I've been soaking in over the last couple of years. It really gets this weird thing that I don't even know how to explain, but hopefully on the record you can hear all those things mixing together good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Just kind of a silly question. It was living in Japan. Doesn't David Lee Roth live out there? Do you guys ever get together and hang out?
I have heard that, but I've never seen him out there, and I guess he's kind of under the radar. He doesn't really come out in the press or on the radio or on TV or anything over there. I don't know. I heard he's living there, but I really don't have any proof of that.
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard he's living there and just kind of studying sword fighting, really, Japanese sword fighting.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty awesome, man. I've never met him.
Oh, all right. Maybe
Diamond Dave sword fighting. That is interesting.
Well, he's kind of got the whole baton twirling thing down. It's not a very big leap.
Gotcha. So, Marty, you have a number of great odd wall of sounds. Shiv from Death Heaven, Jinx. And I know you've worked on both of their albums as well, but who have you been listening to lately, and have any guitar in particular really wowed you lately?
Well, again, I heard every third word of your question, so I'm just going to
okay, go ahead.
talk about the guest. One of you guys comes in really clear, and the other guy doesn't come in very clear. I don't know what's up with that.
I'm in the studio, and Eric is calling in from the phone. He couldn't be here in person, so it's probably not.
You're the one I can understand.
So Eric,
my apologies.
So I can kind of. I actually had a similar question. He mentioned the out of the people that guest played on the album Jinx of Black Veil, Brides, and Shiv Mera of Death Heaven. Is there any modern up-and-coming players that really captured your attention that you think is like a badass out there right now?
Are you talking about guitar?
Guitar, but anything really.
Well, guitar, I mean, there's this guy named Keshav Dar who's in a band called Sky Harbor. And I've worked with him on my last couple records, and I think he's a star, man. That guy is a stud. I mean, I guess what some people might call his music sort of gent or math metal, but it's really so much more than that, and so atmospheric and beautiful and so well arranged and unbelievably well played. This guy's a star, so I definitely say check out Sky Harbor.
Sky Harbor, very cool.
Right on, sounds good.
Now,
and have you brought any of your guests from the record on stage with you on this tour yet?
Maybe the guy in the studio can translate that for me.
Sure. Have you brought any of the guys on the record up on stage with you on your tour?
A couple times. I've done, let's see, I had Dave Davidson from Revocation come up in Boston. He played on my, we did a collaboration on my Inferno record, and I've played live with Jorgen from Shining. We played in the UK a couple times, and things happen, you know, if you cross paths on the road, you never know what kind of surprises would happen.
Very cool. I had a question for you about your state of mind, really, when you're playing. Like, a lot of your playing is so technical. Do you kind of tend to go zen? It's like a state of no mind, or are you thinking about, you know, scales and structures and progressions? Are you doing math on the fly, or is it kind of just instinctive at this point?
I'm thinking about food and chicks only. Like, if I'm hungry, I'm thinking about food. If I'm not hungry, I'm thinking about chicks, and that is it. Like, if you're on stage playing and you still have to think about structure and scales and progressions and stuff, you're not ready to be playing.
Right.
You know, you ask for stuff in your body. You got to play from your groin. You got to play from your heart, and you can't be thinking about that stuff when you're playing. The time to think about that stuff is like way even before you start recording it, if you even think about that at all. You really have to remember that you're performing the music. You're not playing the music. You're performing it. So that music has to be a part of your gut before you even get to that point. So hopefully that answers the question in a relatively understandable way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally, yes.
And
all right. I'll go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Eric.
I'm good. Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. The other question I was going to ask is, have you learned anything from music that you could apply to life kind of on all levels? Is there any kind of like lesson that sticks with you?
Have I learned anything that applies to my life in whole? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, just I learn every day. You know, it's all about interaction with other people and enjoy the moments that you have with people and surround yourself with people that you really want to be surrounded with and get a good bus driver and good guitar tech and great band and, you know, cut off all the weakest links and keep all your links strong and you're in good shape.
Sounds good. Sounds like good advice. And I guess, Eric, any final questions from you?
No, you, Marty, answered everything
I'm really
wanted to know.
super sorry about the phone cutting out like that. I know you were live, so I'm sorry for whatever you had to go to deal with that. But,
no worries.
Glad we got back on.
It's all good.
It is what it is. We'll try to clean it up in post before posting it up.
You being on here.
All right, man. Well, it's been great talking to you. Hopefully see you out in the show.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for talking.
Man. Thanks so much,
for talking with us. Marty Friedman,
Take
everyone. Care. Awesome having you on. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. This is Paul Berezetsky and Eric Lucero for Sharpen the Axe with Marty Friedman. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in.